everyone. Today I want to make a video addressing back bends. So if you've been following me on my Instagram and my Facebook page, you would have noticed that my back bends have significantly improved in the last couple of months. And a lot of people have recently started asking me what they can do to improve their back bends. And recently somebody also asked me about what they can do about their upper back pain. So I've been focusing a lot on up the back, the spine, keeping the spine flexible, and just how to keep a healthy spine and how to get rid of back pain. So I thought I'd make a video about how I eventually build up to the Urdhvadhanurasana. And building up to it also has a few moves which help in opening up the back and so help in eliminating upper back pain. And I do this almost every day, if not every alternate day in my personal practice. And I use things like blocks, I use things like a blanket, and I use the chair as well to open up the back. Usually I don't have the time to go through all the moves that I'm going to show you today, but I try and do like a variation of this sequence, as much as I can and every day if possible. So the first thing I do is I start with just lying down on my back with a block under, right behind the heart, like wherever your heart is, right behind it. You want to place the block horizontally so that the upper back kind of starts to open up. So we're going to open up the spine a little, like first the upper spine, then the middle spine, and then the lower spine, a little bit at a time. So let's start with the upper spine. So you're going to basically lie down. And this is a little cumbersome, but you just kind of have to practice. And initially I start with a block under my head, but you don't really have to do that. If you're flexible, you don't really need the block. You could actually just place the head on the floor. But initially, since I've just started, what I do is I place a block under my head and under my chest and just kind of hold this for some time. And the longer you hold, the better it is. And remember, I'm doing this video in real time. So I'm going to hold it for a little while, a few breaths at least. And whenever you feel more comfortable and more open, you can actually place the head on the floor and extend the arms up. And that will give you a better stretch on the upper body as well, on the front part of the body and on the back of the body also. And just hold this. And whenever you're working on back bends, it's important, to practice them when, like not first thing in the morning. You should practice them in the daytime or towards the evening because your body is a little more open and then it's easier to do back bends. Okay, and then come up. And then you want to place a block like this and another block like this, and again try and curve the back on top of the block. Now you can use, sometimes I use bolsters for this, but right now these soft blocks are available, so I'm just using these. But also bolsters work really well for this move. So you're going to place the upper back on top of this and the back of the head, and just hold this for a while. So if any of this is a little difficult for you, or if you're unable to kind of bend this much, go ahead and use a bolster and don't bend as much as you see me bending. And again, it's trial and error also. So initially, the first time you try this, you might not be able to do it. Eventually, you'll be able to do it. Out of this, and remember, you can hold this for as long as you want, and if your upper back is already open, you don't even really need this. Okay, And then finally, to open up the lower back and to extend the lower back, I'm going to take a wooden block because I feel it gives better support. So you're going to lie down and with nothing under the head this time, and you're going to lift the hips up and insert the block right under the tailbone, and then try and open up the chest and the shoulders. You're pushing the chest forward and the shoulders down. And this should be a very comfortable move. Your backbone should not hurt. If it's hurting, if you feel like it's digging into the block, then you're going to have to adjust the block. Either push it down a little bit or push it up a little bit. Basically, the tip of the spine is supposed to be in the center of the block. And it's supposed to be so comfortable, you're supposed to feel so balanced here that you can do this. So it's supposed to be that, you're supposed to be that balanced on this. And that's why we're using the wooden block. And just hold this. And sometimes at the end of the day, it's just nice to do this. Even if you're not trying to open up the back, or if you're not trying to work towards the Urdhvadhanurasana, if you just want to do this at the end of the day, it just feels really good and relaxing for the spine. Also remember, in this move, your knees should not be splayed out. Knees are close to each other, facing forward. And then go ahead and remove the block. And if this height is too long for you, you can just kind of, stack two blocks on top of each other. That also works. And then hug your knees in. And we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is with the chair. Now the chair is also a great way to open up the spine. Usually I do one, either use the blocks or the chair, but today I'll just show you how to use both. So for the chair also, what you're going to do is you're going to fold the mat into 4 folds. And then place the mat on top of the chair. And then sit inside. And kind of allow your spine to just kind of curve on top of the chair. And just hold this. So I'm coming till the armpit level and just hanging here. And it gives an amazing stretch to the spine. And just hold it. Breathe deeply and hold it. Again, all of this can be simulated with other props as well. But the chair is an easy tool to use to really open up the spine. And then if you want, you can place your arms inside the legs of the chair and really intensify the stretch more. And the longer you hold, the better it is. And you actually feel the muscles of the back, the upper back relaxing and lengthening. Okay, and then let's just go down a little bit. So I'm going to go further down till the shoulder blades are kind of hanging off of the chair. And then again, just kind of hang here. And then take your arms and allow this stretch to happen also. And then come up. And come up gently. Do not just jerk yourself up. Come up with the chest coming up first, and then sit on the chair and just place your forehead on your hands, on your arms. So sit on the chair. Now for the next move that I do to open up the upper back and to curve the back, it involves a bolster if you need it, and definitely a blanket. I place a blanket against the wall so that I have some cushioning for my knees. Otherwise, the knees tend to hurt. And so we're going to basically do the Ushtrasana, the camel pose. And a lot of you might need a bolster for that. So what I do is I use a wall in front of me, because when you bend back, you want to make sure you're not bending back like this. You want to make sure you're kind of increasing the length of the upper body and then bending back. So having this gives me some way to check that I'm not moving back, that I'm still, bending back with my hips and my thighs touching something in front of me, touching the wall in front of me. So you want to start it with just kind of bending backwards, bending the upper back, placing the hands, the fingertips forward, the fingers facing forward, and just try and bend it back as much as you can and hold this. And come up. Okay, so I generally do it a couple of times. So for the second time, I'm going to get rid of the bolster. You don't have to get rid of the bolster. Remember, you should just stretch as much as you can, and eventually you won't need the props. But the props are there to show your body, to kind of teach your body how to stretch. So now, I'm going to once again place the feet flat on the floor. The shins are flat on the floor and strong on the floor. And I'm going to place my hands on my hips, pushing my hips forward with my hands, elbows close to each other, and I'm going to bend back and then place the hands here and hold this. Just hold this for as long as you can. And come up. So yeah, do this a couple of times, and if you do it a couple of times, it'll help you in opening up the back even more. I like to go for the length, so I'll hold it for a longer duration than several repetitions. That's where my practice is now. For you, it might be different. You might want to do it a couple of times and then go for the length of the hold. So this is the Ushtrasana. Again, it's a back bend, and it really helps with the Urdhvadhanurasana. And finally, let's try the Urdhvadhanurasana. This back bend is amazing to open up the spine, open up the upper chest and the upper back. And if you have upper back ache, then there's nothing like the Urdhvadhanurasana to really get you, rid of the pain. So now that we've done all this work, we're ready to do the Urdhvadhanurasana. So let's try that. Okay, and finally, we're back on the mat to practice or to attempt the Urdhvadhanurasana. We'll do it 3 times, and the third time will be the full expression of the pose, the best attempt, and the first 2 times will just be warm-ups for the third time. So you're going to come, you're going to lie down, and bring your feet close to your thighs. Place the hands as close to your ears as you can and under the shoulders. And remember to place the palm flat on the floor. So a lot of people sometimes put pressure only on one side of the hand, and that doesn't work. You have to really push up with the entire palm and all the fingers, all the 5 fingers. So you're going to place your hands there, like under your shoulders, and then lift the hips up first. Place the head on the floor. And once the head is securely on the floor, then you can push the hands up. And remember, knees should not be out, knees should be pointing in close to each other. And you can bring your heels up if you want. And remember, you stretch the upper back, so you can really push forward to open up the back even more. And come down, again, head on the floor, and then back, shoulders on the floor, and then lie down. So this is the first attempt. Every single attempt you're going to get better. So now, let's practice it the second time. So again, foot on the floor, hands on the floor, and then lift the hips up, top of the head on the floor, and then straighten the arms. Try to do the best you can. Breathe here. Open up the chest more by pushing back with your feet. And come down. Again, head, shoulders on the floor. Hug your knees into your chest if you have to. And finally, the last one. So again, feet on the floor. Hands under your shoulders. And lift up. And breathe. And again, shoulders on the floor, and hug your knees in to your chest. So I hope this video really helped you. Back bends tend to be really scary for a lot of people. They were really scary for me, and I still don't feel that that I do awesome back bends. I feel like I have a long way to go and a lot to learn. But I think after my experience in Pune, I feel I believe, I'm convinced that if you work if you work with a plan towards your goals, the goals become accessible. So back bends have in a way been my goal for a while, and now I know how to work towards it, and whatever I've shown you in the video is how I work towards my back bends. Different days I have different variations of pretty much the same thing, opening up the upper back, opening up the middle back, opening up the lower back, and then slowly making my way to back bends which I consider a little more challenging. So if I can do it, so can you. All you need is a good plan, and all you need is to basically stick to your goals. So don't get disheartened. I made this video so that it could help a lot of other people who maybe are looking for ways to improve their back bends. If this video helped you, let me know. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And yeah, I hope to hear from you, and thank you for watching.